Discover Tenerife, a timeless island. Discover the hidden secrets of Tenerife, an island that offers much more than sunny beaches and luxury resorts. Get ready for a journey that will change your perspective. Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel MaMariotti Mondo section, to inspire you to discover new places, whether just to dream or to inspire you for a possible vacation, or who knows, a permanent move. This video will take you to the fantastic island of Tenerife, an island of contrasts and natural beauty. You will be able to discover its history, economy, and everything related to the island. Also coming soon, or perhaps already published, you will find separate videos dedicated to 3 types of people. For those who want to know the island as a tourist, those who are thinking of going to live there, and those who are instead thinking of an economic investment. So fasten your seatbelts and let's go to explore this fantastic island. Tenerife, the largest of the Canary Islands, is a true jewel of the Atlantic Ocean. Its volcanic origins have shaped a unique landscape characterized by surprising contrasts. From the black sand beaches of the north to the golden expanses of the south, Tenerife offers a variety of breathtaking scenery. The majestic Teide, an active volcano and the highest peak in Spain, dominates the island with its grandeur. Tenerife's rich biodiversity is another aspect that makes it special. Laurisilva forests, endemic species, and unique flora and fauna are waiting to be discovered. But let's delve deeper into the centuries of this island. As mentioned, Tenerife is an island of volcanic origin, born on the ocean floor between 20 and 50 million years ago, together with the other islands of Macaronesia. According to the theory of raised blocks, the accumulation of magma gave rise to the volcano that formed the island, with a phenomenon called pillow lava. The island began to emerge during the Miocene, about 7 million years ago, giving rise to 3 ancient volcanic masses. Later, a second, much more intense volcanic cycle, lasting about 3 million years, formed the central area of the island. After its formation, 2 large landslides, 800,000 years ago, created the valleys of La Orotava and Guimar. Finally, about 200,000 years ago, Teide began to rise, the volcano that today dominates the landscape of the island. About 7 million years ago, giving rise to 3 ancient volcanic masses. Later, a second, much more intense volcanic cycle, lasting about 3 million years, formed the central area of the island. After its formation, 2 large landslides, 800,000 years ago, created the valleys of La Orotava and Guimar. Finally, about 200,000 years ago, Teide began to rise, the volcano that today dominates the landscape of the island. A journey through time. The history of Tenerife is a melting pot of different cultures and influences. Before the arrival of humans, the island of Tenerife in the Canary Islands was inhabited by several endemic prehistoric animal species that are now largely extinct. Among these are the giant lizard, Galotia goliath, the giant rat, Canariomis bravoi, and the giant tortoise, Geocolone burchardi, all examples of insular gigantism, a phenomenon that causes some species to grow in size on islands in the absence of predators. The ancient name of the island was Nivaria, as the Romans called it, in reference to the snow that covers the top of the Teide volcano. According to some theories, the current name, Tenerife, derives from Guanche words from nearby La Palma, tene, mountain, and aife, white, with the addition of the R by the Spanish. The Guanches, the island's aborigines, instead called it Chinesh, Chinesh, or Achinesh. When the Spanish arrived, Tenerife was the last island of the archipelago that had not yet been conquered. It was divided into 9 menceatos, small kingdoms each led by a mense, king, sons of Tenerife the Great, the last unified ruler of the island. In 1494, Spanish troops under the command of Adelantado Alonso Fernández de Lugo suffered a heavy defeat in the First Battle of Acentejo. However, thanks to military superiority and the devastating effect of European diseases on the natives, the conquest was completed on December 25, 1495. After the conquest, the indigenous population was largely exterminated or enslaved, while new colonists from various territories of the Spanish Empire, including Portugal, Flanders, Italy, and Germany, settled on the island. The forests were cut down to make way for crops, initially sugarcane, around 1520, and then vines, cochineal, used for the production of dyes, and bananas, which became the pillars of the island's economy in the following centuries. In 1797, the island was the scene of an attempted invasion by the British fleet led by Horatio Nelson, who was repelled in the Battle of Santa Cruz de Tenerife. Nelson lost his right arm during the assault, and the island's inhabitants also managed to repel a second attempt to land in the Puerto Santiago area, rolling stones onto the British from the cliffs of Los Gigantes. In the 19th century, Tenerife began to attract illustrious visitors and naturalists, such as Alexander von Humboldt, who was struck by the beauty of the landscape and the nature of the Teide. From the 1890s onwards, tourism began to develop, especially in the northern part of the island, with cities such as Puerto de la Cruz and Santa Cruz de Tenerife. In March 1936, shortly before the Spanish Civil War, Francisco Franco was sent to Tenerife to isolate it politically. It was from there that he organized the coup d'etat that would start the war. The Canaries came under the control of the nationalists in July of the same year, and, as in the rest of Franco's Spain, there were repressions and mass executions. In the 1950s, due to post-war poverty, many inhabitants of Tenerife emigrated, especially to Cuba and Latin America. Venezuela in particular became a favorite destination, so much so that it was affectionately nicknamed the Eighth Island. In Tenerife, the official language is Spanish, but the island also has a strong presence of Canarian language, a dialect that reflects the historical influence of the indigenous people, the Guanches, and of immigrants who arrived from various Spanish regions. Although the use of Canarian dialect is now limited, some typical words and expressions can still be heard, especially in the more rural areas. Canarian is distinguished from Standard Spanish mainly by some terms, pronunciation and colloquialisms. For example, in Tenerife, you may hear the use of guagua to refer to the bus, or mojo to refer to the typical sauces used in the local cuisine. However, Spanish remains the dominant language in daily life, education, and the media. The island is also an international tourist destination, so English, German, and other European languages are frequently spoken in the most touristic areas. The climate of Tenerife is one of the main reasons why the island is so loved by visitors from all over the world. Situated in a privileged position in the Atlantic Ocean, the island enjoys a mild and stable subtropical climate throughout the year, to the point that it is affectionately called the Island of Eternal Spring. The seasons are not very marked, with temperate winters and hot but never scorching summers. In the winter months, from December to February, average temperatures are around 19 or 20 degrees Celsius, with peaks that can exceed 22 degrees in the central hours of the day, especially in the southern coastal areas. Summer, which lasts from June to September, has sunny days and temperatures that rarely exceed 27 or 28 degrees, with cool nights thanks to the sea breeze. Rainfall is scarce and is concentrated mainly between November and March, especially in the northern areas of the island, which are more exposed to the humidity brought by the trade winds. The south, on the other hand, enjoys a drier and sunnier climate, which is why it is particularly popular with tourists looking for sea and relaxation all year round. In the mountains, and in particular in the areas of the Teide Park, the climate changes considerably. Winter can even bring snowfall, offering a unique spectacle of the imposing volcano covered in snow while the beaches below remain bathed in the sun. Here too, climate change has been felt in recent years, and heavy rains can occur, flooding the streets, which lack a drainage system to recover water. The natural environment here changes rapidly. from the humid forests of the north to the rocky deserts of the south, from the mountainous reliefs to the seabed. Each ecosystem is home to uniquely adapted life forms. The island's flora reflects this diversity. The northern mountains are covered with ancient laurisilva forests, true green lungs that survive thanks to the humidity brought by the trade winds. Higher up, the Canarian pines dominate, imposing and resistant to fire, a symbol of the tenacity of the local vegetation. In contrast, the arid south is characterized by succulent plants, such as euphorbia and cardon, which give the landscape an almost lunar appearance. One of the most famous plants on the island is undoubtedly aloe vera, renowned for its healing properties. If you want to know more about this miraculous plant, we invite you to watch the dedicated film where we tell its history, cultivation methods, and its uses in daily life. Tenerife is also an agricultural island. In its countryside, delicious fruits are grown such as small and sweet Canarian bananas, as well as mangoes, papayas, avocados, prickly pears, citrus fruits, and even grapes, which produce excellent local wines. The variety and quality of the products are the result of the volcanic soil, rich in minerals, and the mild climate all year round. In terms of fauna, Tenerife is home to endemic species that are not found anywhere else in the world. Among the most representative animals is the Galotia galoti lizard, agile and colourful, which lives among rocks and bushes and is one of the natural symbols of the island. Wild rabbits, hedgehogs and various species of birds, including hawks, doves and finches, are also common. But it is in the sea surrounding the island that the fauna shows its most spectacular side. Tenerife is one of the best places in Europe to observe pilot whales and bottlenose dolphins, visible almost all year round thanks to the deep and warm waters. Boat trips to spot them are an unforgettable experience. There is also no shortage of sea turtles, tropical fish, and a wide variety of invertebrates that populate the seabed, making the island ideal for lovers of snorkeling and diving. In short, the flora and fauna of Tenerife tell a story of adaptation, resilience, and wonder. Every corner of the island offers the opportunity for a special encounter with nature. In Tenerife, the euro is used as the official currency, just like in the rest of Spain, of which the island is part. Despite being geographically distant from the peninsula, Tenerife is in all respects an autonomous community of Spain. As for the tax system, one of the great attractions is the preferential tax system. The value-added tax, IVA, for example, is replaced by the IGIC, with a much lower rate, making the island interesting, both for those who want to live there and for those who intend to invest. Tenerife is the main tourist destination in the Canary Islands, with over 6,400,000 visitors per year, data referring to 2023, which represents approximately 40% of the total tourism of the archipelago. The municipality of Adeje, located in the south of the island, is the heart of luxury tourism and has the highest concentration of five-star hotels in Europe. Among its accommodation facilities are some of the best luxury hotels in Spain, also awarded at international level. Tenerife has the highest gross domestic product, GDP, of the entire archipelago. The economy of the island is strongly focused on the service sector, which represents approximately 78% of total production. Within this, tourism alone accounts for approximately 37% of GDP, confirming itself as the main economic driver. Other sectors, although having a smaller weight, are strategic for sustainable and diversified development. The construction sector contributes approximately 11%, industry approximately 6%, the energy sector approximately 3%, with an increasing role in renewable energy. The primary sector, such as agriculture, fishing, and others, has a small weight, equal to approximately 2%, but is fundamental for land management and sustainability. Healthcare in Tenerife is of good quality, with a system that combines both public and private facilities. The public healthcare system in the Canary Islands is managed by the Canarian Health Service, SCS, which provides free or very low-cost medical care to residents and citizens of the European Union, thanks to the European Health Insurance Card. Public facilities, including hospitals and clinics, offer general, specialist, and emergency medical services with highly qualified staff. For tourists or those not covered by the public healthcare system, private healthcare facilities are plentiful and offer fast, high-quality services, although they are more expensive than the public system. Private healthcare is widespread in Tenerife, with numerous clinics and hospitals offering medical, dental, and specialist treatment. Typically, the cost of a private medical visit varies between 30 and 50 euros, but can increase depending on the specialization and type of treatment requested. In case of emergency, Tenerife is well stocked with equipped hospitals, such as the Hospital Universitario de Canarias and the Hospital de la Candelaria, which are the main referral centers for emergencies. In addition, the island has a network of pharmacies distributed throughout the island, which are easily accessible even in tourist areas. In general, health services in Tenerife are accessible, efficient, and of good quality, both for residents and tourists. The school system in Tenerife follows the Spanish model and includes preschool, primary, secondary, and high school, with compulsory schooling from age 6 to 16. Education is public, free, and of a good standard, but there are also private and international schools. As for university education, the island is home to the University of La Laguna, one of the oldest in the Canaries, which offers a wide range of courses and attracts students from all over the archipelago and abroad.
Transport, traveling freely between the sea and the mountains. Tenerife is a well-organized and easy-to-explore island, thanks to an efficient transport system and high-level international connections. The island is served by two main airports, Tenerife North, located near the historic town of La Laguna, and Tenerife South, which is the largest and busiest, ideal for those arriving in the southern tourist areas such as Adage or Playa de las Americas. Both airports offer direct flights to and from the main European cities, making the island an accessible destination in all seasons. Once you arrive, getting around Tenerife is quite simple. The public bus network, operated by the Titsa Company, covers practically the entire territory, connecting the main towns, rural areas, and even nature centers. For those staying in the north, the tram service between Santa Cruz and La Laguna is modern, comfortable, and punctual. However, to explore every corner of the island with complete freedom, renting a car is the preferred solution for many visitors. The roads are well maintained, the signs are clear, and the traffic is generally smooth, even during the busiest periods of tourism. This makes it easy to discover hidden beaches, mountain villages, panoramic points, and nature trails. Gastronomy, taste and tradition between sea and mountain. Tenerife's cuisine is a journey through authentic flavors, a combination of Spanish tradition, African influence, and Latin American roots, which reflect the history of the island and its position in the Atlantic. One of the most iconic dishes is papas arrogadas con mojo, small local potatoes cooked with their skin in very salty water, until they create a wrinkled and tasty crust. They are served with mojo rojo, made with chili pepper and paprika, or mojo verde, with coriander or parsley and garlic, typical and irreplaceable sauces in Canarian cuisine. Another fundamental food is gofio, a toasted cereal flour, such as corn or wheat, used in many preparations, mixed with milk for breakfast, kneaded with honey and almonds, or as an ingredient in soups and desserts. Another dish that we also find in Spain are tapas, small portions of various foods both as an aperitif and for a tasty lunch. Naturally, there is no shortage of fresh fish and seafood, which occupy a central place in the local diet. Meat is also appreciated, and you can find meat in various menus. The meal ends with traditional desserts such as quesillo, a dessert similar to creme caramel, and gofio or banana sweets, another typical product of the island. In the Canary Islands, tap water is not recommended for drinking, although it is safe for cooking, brushing your teeth, or making coffee. To drink, it is best to buy bottled water, easily found in any supermarket or shop. You can also find 5 or 8 liter bottles, called garrafas de agua, ideal for families or for those staying on the island for a long time. Among the typical drinks, one of the best known, reserved for adults, is sangria, a fresh and aromatic alcoholic drink, prepared with wine, chopped fruit, spices, and sometimes a touch of liquor. The festivities of Tenerife are a mix of religious tradition and popular culture, which offer a unique opportunity to immerse yourself in the soul of the island. But outside of those strictly related to religion and tradition, we find the Carnival of Santa Cruz de Tenerife. This is the most famous festival, with colorful parades, music and dance. Considered one of the largest carnivals in the world, it is held every year between February and March. I have experienced this island firsthand and I will return this year for the third time. The thing that surprised and fascinated me the most is the diversity of landscapes and climate just passing from one side of the island to the other. In fact, some images in this video were actually taken during one of my past trips. I think that this island can fascinate different categories of visitors or potential future inhabitants. Tenerife, an island to live and love. Tenerife is much more than a simple holiday destination. It is an island rich in history, culture, nature, and opportunities. A place where you can live unforgettable experiences and create precious memories. Whether you are an investor, a tourist, or an expat, Tenerife has something to offer. Discover its secrets, let yourself be conquered by its beauty, and get ready to live a unique adventure. And here ends our journey, to begin another with one of my videos dedicated to discovering the world. By the way, in the description you will find useful and interesting links about this splendid destination, and please, subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell. Greetings and happy exploring!